What is up? How we doing tonight? It's a wonderful Sunday evening. Got a packed crowd in here. Hopefully everybody's having a good weekend so far. We got the holiday coming up here this week. I gotta have background noise. I don't know about you guys, but I can't sit in dead silence. I think we figured something out last time. Turn that volume down. See how that is. What's going on, Stacy, Mom? All the snowbirds have arrived down there. Well, we haven't gotten no snow up here yet, so definitely getting cold though. We were in the 40s all weekend. They have at one of our minor league teams that we have for baseball here in Michigan. They have in the parking lot. They always set up like a 2 mile walk. That's all Christmas lights and whatnot. And we did that last night. Um, they have certain nights where you can walk through it, and then certain nights that you can drive through it. And we've done both. And it's a lot, I don't know, it's a lot better for me because I'm lazy to drive through it than to walk through it. But it was pretty cool to walk through it last night. Never done it before, so. But Friday night, I went roller skating with the kids. And man, doing those things with those guys just kicks you in the face on how old you are. My groins hurt so bad yesterday. It was terrible. And then we went and did that walk, and that was 2 miles, and I wanted to throw myself off a cliff. Hey, Vibrator, how you doing? How you been? Good to see you in here. Yeah, welcome to those in the bushes. It's probably bots, to be honest with you. That's what I've been finding out a lot about YouTube and Twitch and all these other things, that there's a ton of bots on these accounts. You guys all having a good weekend so far? Let me start getting set up so we can talk about some stuff here. Give me just one moment. Don't be shy. You guys can talk. It's a lot easier to do these kind of things with people talking. Can you guys see that screen? It's not playing anything specific. I just want to know, is it viewable? Go ahead and pause that. I don't know what in the world's going on there. Here, I'll pull up my phone. Trying to get everything set up again. It's been so long since the last time I streamed. Well, I just streamed last week, but since I've had everything going, sharing stuff. Okay, yeah. You can see it better than you can on my StreamYard. Yeah, Rumble's all right. I don't mind Rumble, but X, man, X is so toxic. it's not even funny. That's why like I got it up right now, and like you really have to watch what you're searching and what you're doing because it'll take you down some rabbit holes that'll get you locked up on that social media platform for hours. And then by the time you're done, your anxiety and your anger is so irate, it's insane. So I've been trying to stay off of it as much as possible because, like, with these algorithms, what they do, which a lot of you guys I'm sure already know by now, but the more you click on stuff, it's just going to throw things at you that are related to that. So if you click on one topic and it's a topic that's obviously, what would you say, passionate for you, and then you start getting pissed off or upset or whatever the case scenario may be, then all of a sudden your news feed is full of all this stuff that's just gonna make you irate. And then the way we are, you just keep clicking, 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 and it's just so unhealthy. I've had to back off of it big time. Turn that music down just a little bit. Is that music too loud? Is that music too loud? Yeah, I guess it is a little loud. Let me turn it down a little bit more. I just want something in the background so that my brain hears something, not just listen to dead silence. Hold on, let me mute mine so it doesn't echo. Hey Cherokee girl, how you doing? It's been a long time since I've seen some of these names. All right. So have any of you guys been keeping up on, which I'm sure you have, it's all over every news station, platform, everything these days. But how much have you guys been keeping up on this Epstein malarkey? Have you guys just been seeing like what the news is covering and whatnot, or have you guys actually been like Vibrator? You've been on X and stuff. Have you been seeing some of the articles of like the people that are tied to it and whatnot? Oh, I don't trust our federal government. You guys is beyond broken. Like I have a hard time understanding how, and this is just me personally. You guys don't have to have the same um, thoughts or ideas or any of that is what I do. So don't feel like you have to agree with me or disagree with me. It doesn't really matter. But I just don't understand on how anyone anyone trusts the federal government in any way, shape, or form. Like it's insane. Yeah, you ignore a vibrator. Yeah, I've been dabbling in it. I try to only take in a little bit because, like I said, if I try to take in too much, I just start to get too upset. But what I'm starting to notice with Epstein is that like it don't matter what side of the fence you're on. That man, there's a lot of people tied to him. There are way more than you guys have ever imagined that are tied to him. And like we just had a situation in Congress where there was one lady that was taking uh, text messages from him in the middle of you know doing questioning on people about Donald Trump, which I've already voiced my opinion about Trump. I'm not a fan of him, but he's better than what we would have had with Kamala or even Joe Biden. And these days, that's the only thing we can do is take the better of the two evils. Um, but when it comes to like Epstein, there was a lady that was sitting there taking text messages from him while she's interviewing someone. I mean, she's from the Virgin Islands and she doesn't really have any kind of voting power or anything like that, so she's kind of doesn't mean a lot. But this lady's on a bunch of intelligence committees and stuff like that in the Congress, and she's in the middle of this. She's taking messages from Jeffrey Epstein, and this guy is at the time he had already been convicted, like he is already a known pedophile, and like it's it's disgusting that in the middle of you know doing congressional hearings and stuff like that, people are taking text messages from someone like him. Now, if you listen to the Democrat side, they're sitting there saying, well, there's nothing in the rules that say we can't take text messages from our constituents. And that's all that she was doing was speaking with her constituents. And it happens all the time during hearings and stuff like that, that we take text messages during the hearings and blah, blah, blah. But the one thing that is terrible about it is how many of you guys can reach out to your congressman or congressman or woman and can just text them in the middle of their hearing that you're so important that they're going to text you back? Like that happens with no one, literally no one, unless you're someone like him. So it's one of those things where they went to go sanction this lady and basically take her from all of her committees and all this other stuff so that she couldn't have any control of anything because she's taking text messages in the middle of a hearing for it. Like you'd have to go back and look at all of it. I would love to have voted for a baby lizard, or I would have voted for a baby lizard before voting for Trump. I stopped voting. Like I truly do. I stopped voting because it's just I won't partake in this nonsense. Like it's insane. And until these people realize that the American people are the ones that run this country, it's going to be this way forever. Like remember when Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump, and John Casablanca used to invite young girls on Casablanca shot for quote unquote model and to be. I don't believe any people are innocent in any of this. Like I don't think Republicans are innocent in any of this. I don't think Democrats. I don't think anyone in the government. I truly believe that they were trying to keep this. Both sides were trying to keep this under wraps for as long as humanly possible, and then like the same thing that we see on the internet and we see everywhere else. The loudest voices are usually the ones that usually win. Well, technically, my congressman don't want to hear from me anymore. uh, well, that's the thing is they don't have a choice. They work for us, and the problem is that we allowed them and us to forget that they work for us. Like the thing that getting back to Epstein, the thing with him is that like everybody's only using all of this for a political battle. That's all it is. None of these people actually care about the victims or about what happened or the fact that the majority of the people in our government are tied to this guy one way or another. Like, I mean, none of them actually care about any of that. We shouldn't have to vote for the lesser of two evils, and basically that's what it comes down to, voting America now. You're right, we shouldn't have to, but again, what I've come to realize is that we the American people are the ones that are at fault. We are the ones that have allowed them to get to this point. Like if you look back at our founding fathers way back in the day, these guys, they weren't men coming from rich families that are basically like all the people that we have in government right now are all Nepo babies. They're parents have been are the ones that develop the wealth for them, and they have never had to do any kind of real life work a day in their life ever. And so they have no idea, and they're so out of touch with the actual American people. The only thing they care about is lining their pockets and continuing to produce that, you know, constant money for their families for the rest of their lives so that their kids, their grandchildren don't have to work ever. And they do it on the expense of us. And they turn all of us against each other because that's how everything works. I mean, look at all of YouTube, look at all of um, any of these platforms, look at X. You know, like the only things that are trending are all negative, nasty bullshit. Like nothing good is trending. There's nothing that's happy ever trending. And so, like, we, the American people, are the ones over the last like 40 years that have allowed these idiots to develop the country that we live in now. They are all perverted. Don't forget the Trumps and Clintons were very close in the 80s. That's the thing. They were all best friends at one point in time. These people are cut from the same cloth. There's no difference in between them. There really isn't. I don't care what you have to say about Trump. That man, he only cares about his ego. That's the only thing he cares about. He cares about his ego, and the world's viewing him as the most powerful man in the world. But let me pull up this thing about. Let me search, see what we come up with. If I can spell. So you can really just like type in whatever you want, and the damn AI crap will pull it up in an instant. There you go. Stacy Plaskett, right? So this lady was taking text messages while during a House hearing while investigating Trump. So here, this lady is trying to investigate Trump for the piece of trash that he is, while she's getting text messages from Jeffrey Epstein telling her what questions to ask and what questions not to ask, and like whose names and all this other stuff. Now, they what the House tried to do is censure her, which basically means they're not allowing her to have anything to do in the American government for the most part. And it was supposed to have come down, which should have happened. Um, well, no matter what side you're on, if you're taking text messages from Jeffrey Epstein in the middle of a hearing, you know that's I don't care who you are. That's unspeakable. Like it shouldn't be happening. Period. But they went to sanction her and censure her, not sanction, censure. Um, and when they did, the House committee made a backdoor deal not to censure her because there was a Republican that was going to get censured too because this jackass decided to try to blackmail, I believe, his ex-wife, saying that he was going to send out explicit pictures of her, which is against the ethics committee. So now that we know that, neither of these people are going to be punished. So it's like now we're saying two wrongs make a right. And this is on both sides. You got a Republican who's trying to blackmail their family or his ex-wife with, from allegedly, it's with, I would assume, R-rated photos and whatnot. But then when you go through here and look at all this, I mean, none of these, like, these are all just such angry people. And look how we are now. What are you doing? I didn't go to that. Stop it. I didn't go to that. There we go. But none of these people are happy about anything on both sides, either side. And you wonder why we're getting people shot in the neck. You wonder why presidents are getting shot at. And and then people are happy that all this stuff is happening. Two longs do not make a white. Oh, jeez. All right. Hey, Kiwi mate, how you doing? So Jeffrey was sitting here, had this lady, which is this is his congresswoman because he was out of the Virgin Islands. So he had personal contact with his congresswoman during all of this, and is able just to text her and tell her what to say, what questions to ask, because he has the inside scoop. And then she doesn't get in trouble because a Republican was going to get in trouble, and so now neither of them are getting in trouble. During a congressional hearing, Jeffrey Epstein was texting. Okay. Feeding her questions, which she proceeded to ask. That's like. Let's watch this a second.
President of the United States. And while we were once driving through a struggling neighborhood in Chicago, he commented.
All right, let's take this back. And what's funny that this wasn't even a Democrat or Republican thing that this lady got caught. It was a news station that put this all together. So it wasn't like the sides playing against each other. It was a complete third party. So it says newly released documents reviewed by the Washington Post. See? So it was the Washington Post who figured this out. Appear to indicate that during a 2019 hearing where Michael Cohen testified, again, and that was against Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein was texting with Delegate Stacey Plaskett from the Virgin Islands. Post review multiple feeds from the hearing and match the texts which were sent.
When Barack Obama
video.
was president of the United States. And while we were once driving.
So they were able to get her text messages from this and match it to the actual video that's played during these congressional hearings. So this was a text from Jeffrey Epstein, and it was sent 1 minute ago, 2:27 on 2019. 7:41, 42 a.m. 7:42 a.m. It says, "Are you chewing?"
Through a struggling neighborhood in Chicago, he commented that only black people.
And then a few minutes later, she responds, "Not anymore."
Could live that way. Attorney-client privilege. Yes, I will turn it over.
You, as my friend Mr. Meadows pointed out, misled this committee even today.
So now they're showing that she's getting this text messages while the hearing's going on, and the message says Cohen brought up Rona, keeper of secrets.
Written submission that contradicted your testimony. You have suggested you are going to review that. Did you review? Are you going to review it in our next break to correct the record? Yes or no?
Yes.
Question: you helped out the.
Quick, I'm up next. Is that an acronym? And that's what she's writing back to him. She wants to know because she don't know who Rona is, and Rona is actually Trump's main assistant.
President's campaign, or were involved in the campaign as a representative, as a spokesman. Even in your words today, it was your idea for the campaign dating back to.
And then he responds, "That's his assistant." And now watch the line of questioning.
2011. Is that accurate? Yes or no?
Yes.
Mr. Weisenberg and other individuals, Ms. Rona. Who are those individuals? Are they with the Trump organization?
And the funny thing is that she calls her Miss Rona, and Miss Rona isn't even. That's not even who she is. Rona is not her last name; it's her first name. So she's so clueless on who this person is that she says Miss Rona as her first name. So when have you ever been, any of you guys, Kiwi, Stacy's mom, anybody? Whenever you guys ever been called by Mrs. or Mr. and then your first name, that doesn't make sense. So she had no idea who it even was.
question.
They
And
are.
there other people that we should be meeting with?
So, Alan Weisselberg is the chief financial officer.
You got to quickly give us as many names as you can so we can get to them.
Yes, ma'am.
And then here she is trying to rush this guy. Give me as many names as you can so that we can get to them and we can talk to them about things. While she's texting Jeffrey Epstein during this hearing, trying to, accuse Trump of stuff. Let's go back. And now, why Plaskett wasn't censured. Let's see what we come up with now. Now let's find out why she didn't get in trouble. So, like here, the plastic censure failed because House leadership exchanged the vote to protect a Republican that's having a lot of issues and should not seek re-election. This is Anna Paulina Luna. I think she's actually a Republican.
Republican and Democrat members of Congress.
Now,
for what purpose does the gentlelady from Florida seek recognition?
I have a parliamentary inquiry.
The gentlelady from Florida will state her inquiry.
I was wondering if the Speaker of the House of Representatives can explain why leadership on both sides, both Democrat and Republican, are cutting back-end deals to cover up public corruption in the House of Representatives from both Republican and Democrat members of Congress.
The gentlelady has not stated a proper parliament.
Okay, so did you guys just hear that? See, more of that needs to be done. More of people on both sides calling each other out because this is bullshit. They want to know why the leaders are making back-end deals, and it's both Republican and Democrats that are doing it. Like, that's the shit that needs to be called out. That's how we hold them accountable. But it's not. It's people picking sides and wanting to ensure that they can be reelected after reelection after reelection. No one calls me by my first name in New Zealand. I'm an undercover agent. Can't talk about it. All right. Hey, stop picking on Jeffrey. He's a good guy if you need to find a date. No, thank you. Nope. Not a chance. Sometimes I have, but it's by little kids in a classroom who cannot say my last name. Okay, so that makes sense. That makes absolute sense. Let's see if it actually will give us the reason on why she didn't get censured. Oh, she's actually serving on 3 different congressional committees: Budget, Ways and Means, and Intelligence. And she asked for donations from Jeffrey Epstein in 2018. But there's somewhere, it's got to be out here somewhere. Because I heard it and I know it's out there. Now they're coming out with things of her messages where she begged Jeffrey Epstein for donations. I mean, even Hakeem Jeffries is implicated, and he's the Speaker of the House for the Democrats, or the leader of the House for the Democrats. I'm trying to find the reason on why, because they gave it. Come on, I don't want to watch that. It's texting coordinate, we know that. Well, it doesn't look like they're going to give the name of the guy why he wasn't censured. Republican deal. Let's add some language to it, see if it'll bring anything else up. See, and that's another thing, like this Jasmine Crockett lady, she came and started screaming and yelling because now it's because she's a black lady that this is the reason why they're trying to censure her and shut her up, is because she's black, not because she took text messages from Jeffrey Epstein or because she was taking money from Jeffrey Epstein, just a factor of because she's black. Like, It's stupid. And then she turns around and she also says that so many different people took money from Jeffrey Epstein. And it wasn't even that Jeffrey Epstein. That Jeffrey Epstein that they took money from was a doctor, a legitimate doctor that lived in a different state, had a different occupation, like completely different. And the information where she got it from, it wasn't even, hey, MJ, how you doing, hon? Nice to see you in here. The information that she got it from, like it explicitly states who and where and what this individual is. Like all the information's put out there, but yet they still took it because the name was Jeffrey Epstein. And then she put it out there in the middle of a congressional hearing, like this one is here, and then never retracts any of it. But, you know, I want to know, there was a Let's refuse blast the Century House votes against Century and condemning Stacey Plaskett. I don't know. Let me try this again. Computer is so slow. What Republican saved because of Plaskett? See if that is a little more direct. That's not it. Okay, let's go. Let's try something different. Let's go to Grok. And be careful using this AI shit too, you guys. Like this will lead you down the wrong way too. What Republican was saved in the deal with Democrats to not censure Plaskett? See what it says. Okay, so Corey Mills from Florida was a Republican reportedly saved in the deal. On November 18, 2025, House Republicans tried to censure and remove Delegate Stacey Plaskett from the House Intelligence Committee over 2019 text exchanges. All right. Clark prepared a retaliatory censure resolution against Mills, who was facing multiple controversies. However, after the Plaskett measure failed, Democrats withdrew the resolution against Mills. So it was Representative Corey Mills. It's a Republican from Florida. What did Mills do to be censured? Retaliatory measures against you. Okay. So, February of 2025 incident, D.C. Metropolitan Police investigated Mills at his Washington penthouse following a report of assault by his then-girlfriend, Sarah Riviani. The initial police report alleged that he grabbed her, shoved her, and pushed her out the door. Okay. July 2025, so he was extremely aggressive against his girlfriend. The officers found probable cause for a misdemeanor assault and forwarded an arrest warrant to the U.S. Attorney's Office, though no charges were filed. Okay, so this is Corey Mills. This is why they did not censure Plaskett for talking to Jeffrey Epstein. So do you see how this stuff works? Are you guys really starting to catch a clue on how all this stuff actually works? Because all they're doing is saving each other's asses while working with a criminal that everybody knew was a pedophile. But let's make it all okay, because if I scratch your back, you scratch mine, and neither of us go to jail. Here's another one. July 2025, a different former romantic partner accused Mills of threatening to release nude images and intimate videos of her after their relationship ended, along with threats to harm her future partners. This led to a police report. Like, see, this is what I'm talking about. he also had a protective order in Florida. Like, a court issued a final judgment of injunction for protection against dating violence against Mills based on July allegations. So, like, three different things here, which looks like there's more, but there's three different major things here, you know, with the allegations of domestic violence against women. And so now we have a guy that has domestic violence against women that's getting away because of a guy that molested children. Like, do we see how our government works? Do you guys are you guys getting an understanding of what the U.S. government is? Like, this, our government is disgusting. Let me come back over and see what you guys are saying over here. Yeah, Kiwi, it's Rome all over again. Sometimes I have, but oh, never mind, I read that one off already. And yeah, I'm glad to see you in here, MJ. It's been a long time. President Trump is either protecting his family or did bad things with Jeffrey, or he would have released the files. Well, they have released the files now. There's nothing they can do about it now. And I don't think, to be honest with you, I don't think Trump's in there at all, because if he was in there, the Democrats would have used that. They would have hung him by his ankles with that. So that's what makes, sorry, I had to take a drink. My mouth was getting dry. So that's what makes me think that he's not actually in the files in any like negative sort of way. Now, I bet you he's all over the files, but I just don't think he's in there for the reasons that we think he's in there. By those ankles. Well, they probably would have hung him by his big toes if they could have. Our MJ, our entire government is disgusting. Like, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. Like, our entire government is disgusting. Here we are talking about a Democrat who's taking text messages from Jeffrey Epstein, and the only reason why she's not in trouble because of a Republican that has domestic abuse. Like, what are we talking about here? Neither of these sides are good. And I bet you can go through and find 1,000 different things that are exactly like this. The problem is that all we do is sit here and we watch the news clipping articles or the 10-second videos and all this. Like, nobody takes the time to actually figure any of this stuff out. And Mossad, yeah, you know, it could be Mossad, it could be Russia, it could be China, it could be all these things. The problem is that our country is broken as shit. You can point the blame anywhere you want. The hard truth is, when you look in the mirror, the American people gave the government all of this power. We are the ones that have bended knee to them. We are the ones that have allowed them to take over and do whatever they want. And all we can do is bend over and say, thank you, ma'am. No, Vibrator, I believe Trump is in there. Like, I know he's in there all over the place. Like, I bet you his name's in there thousands of times. But I don't think you're going to find one video or one picture or anything like that of him doing illegal things with a minor. That's what I'm saying. Like, oh yeah, he's in there. There's no doubt in my mind that he's in there. Like, I bet you he's in there probably more than everybody else is in there. But again, Jeffrey Epstein also hated Trump so much that he probably has Trump all over the place in there. And again, you know, I got to keep saying is that if he's in there in that form or fashion, the Democrats and even the Republicans that don't like him would never have allowed him to get to the situation that he's in. They would have blasted him all over the place. But then you got to think about it, right? You're trying to tell me that the Clintons aren't in there? Those are some hardcore Democrats right there. So if the Democrats voted to let the the files out, then guess what? They're probably gonna release the Kraken on the Clintons. And I bet you, if you look at some of the top names, let's take the top 1,000 most powerful people in the world. I can bet, I would put a bet down that they're all in there. I would bet probably a year's of my savings, which is nothing, but a year's worth of my earnings to believe that they're all in there. Like, if you don't think that the head of different countries are in this book, the people and are in the files, I should say, not the book. I mean, for the love of Pete, we had a member of the royal family that got busted. So yeah, he's in there for sure. Like, there's no doubt about it. I don't want to be in that club. I don't want nothing to do with those people. I don't want to be compared to them. I don't want to be associated with them. I honestly, at this point in time, even if you guys don't believe in any kind of religion or anything, or whatever religion you believe in, like, like an asteroid needs to hit this earth and like start it all over again, because we have royally fucked up. We have fucked up everywhere around this world. There's not one. If you point to one country that is living peacefully right now and is just happy, no crime, no war, no this, no corruption, no that, I can almost promise you every single country in this world is ablaze right now. I don't vote, MJ, so I have no opinion either way. I can't stand any of them, and I refuse to participate in any of that crap. Like, if I can't put my faith in any of them, I won't participate in any of it. And I guess that's part of the problem too. Like, if you don't participate, then they can just make it whatever they are. But I refuse to put anything into any kind of stock or any kind of anything into these people. I'm Vibrator. I'm sure there's copies everywhere. I think Trump will have it all. Will have all of it. His shit deleted before anything is released. Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. He will. Like, that's without a doubt. At least the bad stuff. Like anything that may paint him in a negative light. Yeah, they're gonna redact all that information, and then they're gonna say, "Well, we're not gonna release victims' names," and act like all the redacted stuff is just only victims and stuff like that. Where, like, the majority of the victims are coming out and saying, "Release everything. We want all these people in prison." But now, let me ask you guys this question: let's say all the files come out completely unredacted, with absolutely every single bit of information in there. Nothing taken out of there. No, just absolutely everything comes out in these files. Do you think that these people that are in these files will be held accountable in any way, shape, or form? Do you truly believe that these people will be held accountable? Because I have no faith in the fact that they'll be held accountable. None. Absolutely none. I mean, look at what's going on right now and look at the people that are not being held accountable. So let's get the files all out there. Let's get all the information out there. Let's get everything out there. But then what? Do you think they're going to go to prison? Do you think that they're going to lose everything that they have? They're the most powerful people in the world. They're not going to lose shit. They won't spend a single moment behind bars. Just like all of these other people, they'll end up throwing 2 or 3 or maybe 4 or 5 that in prison that are basically, you know, the ones that are taking the hit because everybody else can afford to pay and cut deals. No, nobody's going to get in trouble for this shit. Nobody. Our country is completely fucking flawed, and it's a fraud. Yeah, I've read about that one, Cherokee Girl. But that's the thing again. Let's blame. Go ahead and blame Donald Trump. Blame Jeffrey Epstein. Blame Bill Clinton. Blame, you know, blame whoever you want to blame. Do you think they're actually going to get in trouble? Vibrator is the only one that has answered me, and it's no. We all can keep talking about it, but do you truly believe that any of these guys are going to get in trouble? Do you think anyone will be held accountable? Because that's a lot of the things that like is even going on all over the place, is that somebody will ask a question, and then it's just complete deflection all over the place. Oh, well, what about this? Oh, what about this person? Oh, what about that person? What about that person? What about this? Well, he did that. He did this. She did this. She did that. She said this. Okay, well, you going to answer my question? All we do is just keep running ourselves off into the weeds, and nobody stays on any kind of like actual factual shit. All we do is just start like running around all over the place. Okay, well, there you go. Thank you, Cherokee. I'm glad at least we're answering. We're having a talk about it. See, and now, like, this is what I'm talking about, though. If we don't think that they're going to be held accountable at all, and we don't think anybody's going to get in trouble, nobody would be reprimanded. I mean, even with the Me Too movement, I understand that. But let's look at it. Why are we allowing this to ruin our lives when we know nothing will happen? You will ruin yourself, ruin your nervous system. You will get yourself angry, you'll get yourself up and sad, you'll get yourself depressed, you'll get yourself full of anxiety, and you'll become this wicked little ball of anxiousness, and nothing's going to come out of it. Why? Because they run everything. There's nothing we can do about this shit. Our hands are literally tied. As the American people, our hands are tied. The only thing we have as the American people are, 1, our voices, and 2, our voting rights. That's how we can make changes in this world. That's all we have. We don't have anything else. And look at what's happening. Our voting isn't doing anything. It's being manipulated all over the place. It's been manipulated on both sides of the category. It doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. Everything's being manipulated. It's been proven all over the place. And then our voices, your voices don't mean anything. Look at all these hundreds of thousands of people that are out here marching, destroying half the country, you know, having riots, burning cars, doing all this stuff. What has changed? Has any of their protesting, anything that they're doing, changed anything? It's all the same. If anything, it's gotten worse. So we have no ability to turn around and do anything. All we can literally sit here and do is take it. And MJ, yes, that's exactly, we are public puppets. That's all we are. We're cogging the wheels that keep the economy going so that they can keep their money flowing. That's all we are. We are basically cheap employees for them. And until the American people on both sides realize that, like, no one in the government has your best interest, then we're going to be stuck in the same situations. Just going to be the same thing, whether Democrats get on or whether um, Republicans. It don't matter which way. Either way, you know, it's going to be the same thing. And my biggest fear is that these guys, it doesn't matter what side, they're going to drive us straight into a civil war. And this civil war, like I said the last live, is not going to be a North versus South. It's not going to be, like I think I heard that during the Civil War, only, man, don't quote me on this, look this up yourself. But like during the Civil War, only like 7% of the country's population actually were fighting. The rest of the people were like, yeah, we don't want to deal with this shit. So when we go to this next Civil War, now we have hundreds of millions of people that are completely torn apart from each other. And now the Civil War is going to be with your neighbors. The person across the street, the person at your local grocery store, the person at, the movie theater, the person at the gas station, the person that's buying a package of meat. It doesn't matter. You're going to be fighting your neighbor. Every time you go outside, you're going to be freaked out because whose side is on who is on whose side. So these people that are praying for a civil war and whatnot, you guys better understand what you guys are getting yourselves into. But me personally, in my own personal opinion, the only way any of this shit is going to change is if it gets torn down and rebuilt back up with all new players, all new people, all new rules. It's 2025. It's not the early 1800s or 1700s. Things have changed big time, and we can't keep operating off the same system. Imagine if our systems nowadays still run off of all the old technology. More corrupted politicians will fix it. Yeah. What they're doing is they're pitting us all against each other so that we all end up fighting each other and destroy ourselves. And during that time, only the strong will survive. During that time, they'll have everybody pit against each other, and here we go. It's going to be fun. Not. But guys, make sure you guys hit that like button for me. I'm going to end the stream here. I can rant and rave for hours, and I don't feel like that. I try to take this into doses. So if you guys can, make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. And keep looking out. I'm going to try to start going live at least once a week, typically on the weekends. So it might be a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So make sure you have your notification bells on so that you guys know what day that I'm going to go live. But I'm going to try doing a little bit more after the holidays. I'm going to try to do a little more than once a week and try to have a little bit more of a better production here. But just trying to get back on the bike, trying to get things rolling again. And I appreciate all you guys for stopping in and having a chat with me for this last hour. I hope you guys have a good week. I hope you guys have a good holiday. And like I said, make sure you guys hit the like, subscribe, and turn your notification bells on so you guys know when I go live. It'll typically be back on the weekends. So, thank you guys for joining, and we will talk to you guys soon.